Hi everybody, this is Lois Friend, and today is January the 12th, 2023, and I've been promising you for several days that I was going to do a video featuring the cards that we made at Card Club last week, and because of my schedule and some technical difficulties, I haven't been able to do it until today. And these are the cards that we made. We're going to be focusing on this technique because this has certainly been a winner in the way of technique. I have never had as much feedback, positive feedback, from a technique that we've done. And I don't know whether it's because of the technique itself or whether the fact that I am offering a challenge for anyone who makes cards after they've been at class or after you watch this video. As long as you have your cards photos sent to me by the 31st of January, you will be entered into a random drawing. Everyone's name will go into a random drawing, and you will have an opportunity to win a one of the birthday card organizers that Stampin' Up! Has. They were unavailable for a while, but recently they have become available again. And this is a great little tool. It helps you keep organized. It's got folders and files and a place for you to put the names of those having birthdays. And it's just a great way to be organized. And even though those of you that know me know that I'm not always the most organized person, but somewhere in that chaos, I generally have some sort of an organizational system. But this is a great little system. So anyway, like I said, after you watch this video, or if you've been to class, make those cards. I do ask that you use Stampin' Up! Products. It doesn't have to be current Stampin' Up. It can be old. Get those old stamps off the shelf. I feel like maybe a dance, you know? And use those stamps to make this, and get your cards submitted, and you'll be placed in the random drawing. If you have any questions, just let me know. So we're going to get started. We are going to be using a stamp set out of the new mini catalog dated January through April 2023. This is currently our occasions book that we're using, and we're also, right now, we're in the midst of a celebration from January the 5th to February the 28th. And for those of you that don't know anything about celebration, that is an opportunity once a year that when you make certain purchases from any of our active catalogs, you can get selections from this based on your sales. If your sales reach $50 or $100, you have opportunities to get free stamps. And who doesn't like free stamps? And like I said, if you don't have the catalogs and you would like catalogs, I've gotten a lot of them distributed, but somewhere along the line I got way behind. So if you don't have a catalog and you want a catalog, please let me know, and I will get one to you as soon as possible. The stamp set that we're using today is called Lighting the Way, and it is featured in the mini catalog, and it's got some really neat stamps. It has die cuts with it, and I love this little lantern. I have plans to work on a scrapbook page that I started months ago, and using that lantern. So hopefully I can get to that soon. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this design. And what you'll need is you need to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I would use a light cardstock. I'm using the basic white, but very vanilla would be really pretty too. And you'll cut that piece of cardstock down a 1/2 inch on either side. So you start out then with a piece of 8 by 10.5. You've cut a 1/2 inch off of that and a 1/2 inch off the long side, and it's 8 by 10.5. And then you're going to score at 4 inches. That's halfway, if I'm doing my math right. And at 5 1/4. So now you have the X marks the spot right in the middle, and that's how you'll get started. We are using the colors Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Pale Papaya. And these are all part of the in colors that will be leaving the annual catalog at the end of this catalog year, which I think is in April. So if you want any of those colors, now's the time to get them. So like I said, we're going to start right in that center point. And there's really no rhyme or reason, no right or wrong. As I always say, there's no right or wrong way in stamping. And you're going to kind of use that X point as a starting point. And I kind of started with my dark. I don't know that it matters. And I stamped in the round. And I got a mark. But I have found out that with this technique, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to do some Soft Succulent. And you, like I said, you're using that X point as your mark. And you're moving up your paper, up the mark. And you're forming a plus sign. And filling in up the page. And you can always, once you cut it, you can always add more. And I'm going to add just a little bit more green. Along there. And I hope I'm getting in. I have the phone set a little bit close, and I'm not sure what you can see. Okay. Now, you can see the plus sign right down the center of, you're going up that line is basically what. All right, we're ready to cut. And this technique helps you. You will end up with 4 card fronts, or in the case of class, what we did is we did 2 cards, and because they were darker cardstock, we used one on the top and one inside. But that's your preference. You can do 4 card fronts with 1 or 2 card fronts and 2 inserts. All right, so we're going to put this back in, and we're going to cut on that score line at 4 and 5 1/4. And now you have 4 card fronts. The one thing you need to do is when you're going up the plus or designing your plus sign or your corners, allow enough space for your sentiment. So now I'm going to use the sentiment. I think I'll do a couple of happy birthdays and a couple of thinking of yous. This stamp set called Go To Greeting. It's in the annual book. I love this. I love the scripty writing style, and I just think that's really neat. I'm going to show you a little technique that one of my club members found and showed me, and it has been almost life-changing. If you have a Stamparatus, which is one of our best tools, I just love this to get things straight, but you still have trouble getting things lined up and getting them straight. I don't know about you, but sometimes, even though I'm using the Stamparatus, I get a nice clean stamp or a nice clean image, but it's crooked. Well, one of my customers found someone, and I don't know who, another demonstrator, this little technique. This is a clear sheet. This is one of our window sheets, but you could use anything that's clear that you can see through. And I cut it the card size. And in order to see whether or not you get it straight, you can place it on and it's not quite straight. So I'm going to clean it off. I've got this one going up just a little bit. And a piece of paper towel, wipe that, and see if I can't get it just a little bit straighter. Try that again. And that is straight. So you leave everything in place just like it's supposed to be. This is a Chucky, and one of my customers' husband made that, and it's great. It helps you get nice even pressure. And there you go. I think it's straight. It's hard when you're doing it on the camera. So And I have the cardstock cut. And we'll apply it. I still got it just a little bit crooked. Like I said, it's hard when I'm looking above the camera to do it, but I think it'll be fine. And we'll just apply, add the glue. And like I said, if you want to, then you can either use those for inside, or you have 4 card fronts. It's very, very easy. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I have a tendency to go through really fast, and I'm not the world's best explainer. And I get my thoughts ahead of my hands, and my hands ahead of my thoughts, and I get a little confused. So if you have any questions with any of that, please let me know. I would I'll be glad to try to simplify it if I've made things too complicated. It's just a really, really easy technique. And then you can bling it up if you want to. With this one, I added some rhinestones, some bling. With this one, I added some of the ribbon, which, by the way, this ribbon right now is on our clearance special, and it's a good price. I think it's $2.30 or something, and there's a lot of it on there. So I did that with that, and I made this little tag with the sentiment using the Happy Labels Pick a Punch, which is also new in our the mini catalog, and that's a neat little tool that you can do different things with. So that is the basic technique. Like I said, that is what everybody was so excited about, and I've had all kinds of entries at this point in time for my January challenge. I encourage you now. You make your own. And send me pictures. You can load it straight to my Facebook, or if you want to, send them to me and I'll load them up to the Facebook page. I know not everyone has Facebook. I did load these techniques to my Pinterest page. So if you want to go to my Pinterest page, you can find them under my Stampin' Up projects. I think that's what it is, and they're listed under 2023 projects. So those were the main cards, and then this card we did. That was this little hoot adorable owl is one of the free items you can get for spending $50 in our celebration. And I thought this was a cute little card. Now for the club girls that were here, that weren't here for club, you will be getting your products, your materials, and everything's included. Your paper products, your materials, obviously, your stamps and the ink and all of that aren't in it. But if you don't have this stamp set, which I'm sure none of you have it yet, you can use something that you have. These cards are interchangeable. I have a feeling that you have something in your stash that you can use. But in order to get this polka dot, I used one of the masks, which also these masks are currently on our clearance table, the clearance rack, whatever. And what I did with that was I went over the cardstock and I taped it down, and I just used one of our brushes And I did tape it down with removable tape. Sorry, I feel like I'm really discombobulated. After starting this video 3 or 4 times, I really was getting frustrated. So I'm using our blending brush, and this color is Mango Medley. And I generally, when I'm using the brush, I generally start off the cardstock so that you don't get blobs. And then I'll cut that down and stamp the little owl. Let's see. Stamp that with Memento Black, Tuxedo Black. And then using our alcohol markers, and I'm not going to stand here and color for you because all of you know how to color. But you'll color that in. Like I said, I'm not going to stand there and color. You know how. And that's what your finished product will look like, if that's the stamp you use. Or like I said, I'm sure you have stamps, even though you don't have these stamps right now. You have stamps in your stash. So I think that about covers everything that we did at class. I know I went through this rather quickly and I probably skipped something. So if you have questions, just message me, email me, let me know. I'll be glad to help if I've skipped something or something didn't come through like it should have. And again, I encourage you to participate in my January challenge. Just make those cards, send me pictures, and have fun with it. I'm so excited that the girls that were here last week have really, really got into it. And I have seen some amazing cards that they've made already in just a week. So with that said, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.